Welcome fans to WECU Court in Carver Gymnasium for tonight's Great Northwest Athletic Conference match featuring the Seattle Pacific Falcons and your Western Washington Vikings. We would like to begin by acknowledging that we gather tonight on the ancestral homelands of the Coast Salish peoples who have lived in the Salish Sea Basin throughout the San Juan Islands and the North Cascades watershed from time immemorial. Please join us in expressing our deepest respect and gratitude for our indigenous neighbors, the Lummi Nation and Nooksack tribe, for their enduring care and protection of our shared lands and waterways. Fans, at this time, please rise if able and remove your caps. Military veterans are welcome to render a hand salute as we join together with the playing of our national anthem by the Western Washington University Viking Band. All right, let's get things started by meeting the student athletes for both teams. First, for the visiting Falcons from Seattle Pacific. The head coach is Jason Ryan, and assistant coach is Lindsey Calvin. First, the non-starters for the Falcons. In numerical order, a 5'5" junior from Tulsa, Oklahoma, playing defensive specialist, number 1, Abigail Cunningham. A 5'9" freshman from Justin, Texas, playing setter, number 6, Sophia Chambers. A 6' senior from Bonnie Lake, playing mid-blocker, number 8, Brianna Ingram. A 5'11" freshman from Fitchburg, Wisconsin, playing opposite, number 9, Coco Barnett. A 6'4" freshman from Redmond, outside hitter, number 11, Anna Pueller. A 5'8" freshman from La Crosse, Wisconsin, playing setter, number 14, Avery Vienendahl. A 5'11" senior from Monroe, Washington, outside hitter, number 18, Sarah Day. A 6' senior from Paulsbo, playing opposite, number 19, Maddie Pruden. And a 6'3" senior from Cave Creek, Arizona, playing opposite, number 26, Sydney Perry. Now the starting lineup for SPU. A 6'1" senior from Bothell, outside hitter number 3, Allison Wilkes. A 6'1" senior from Walla Walla, playing mid-blocker, number 7, Hannah Hare. A 6' senior from Mukilteo, playing outside hitter, number 13, Sarah Brockvogel. A 5'7" junior from Carlsbad, California, playing setter, number 15, Emily Tulino. A 6'1" senior from Carlsbad, California, playing mid-blocker, number 16, Aaron Smith. A 5'4" freshman from Surprise, Arizona, playing libero, number 17, Christina Lopez. And a 5'4" senior from University Place, playing defensive specialist, number 22, Zoe Schuckart. And now, let's meet your 2023 Vikings. The Vikings are led by head coach Diane Flick-Williams and assistant coaches James Suh, Malia Aliaga, and Chris Leverins. Let's meet the 5 players redshirting this season. From Lake Stevens, number 3, Haley Try. From Spokane, number 11, Danny Johnson. From Snohomish, number 12, Ayla Grant. From Spokane, number 15, Casey Mueller. From Mukilteo, number 22, Nayela George. And now the non-starters in numerical order. A 5'9" sophomore from Linden, defensive specialist, number 4, Anna Vanderyacht. A 5'9" redshirt freshman from Bellingham, number 5, Finley Clays. A 6' senior from Ferndale, pin hitter number 6, Kylie Hunrud. A 6'1" sophomore from Federal Way, number 7, Asia Stewart. A 5'11" redshirt freshman from Kent, number 8, Anu Lopez. A 5'9" redshirt freshman from Vancouver, number 9, Carolyn Hansen. A 5'10" sophomore from Bellevue, number 16, Janelle Grant. And now the starters for your Vikings. A 5'11" redshirt freshman from Maple Valley, pin hitter number 1, Delaney Spear. A 6'1" redshirt freshman from Ridgefield, playing mid, number 2, Emily Vosenkuhl. A 6' sophomore from Olympia, playing pin hitter, number 10, Devin Ostrich. A 5'11" junior from Bothell, playing pin hitter, number 13, Gabby Kepley. A 5'10" sophomore from Issaquah, playing libero, number 14, Abby May. A 6'1" sophomore from Lake Stevens, playing mid, number 18, Carly Try. And a 5'8" redshirt sophomore from Puyallup, playing center, number 19, Adele Holland. And those are your Western Washington University 2023 Vikings. Let's play volleyball.
Good evening and welcome to Carver Gymnasium, home of the Western Washington Vikings. We've got a rivalry match here tonight. Seattle Pacific comes into Carver to take on the Vikings. Seattle Pacific 13-1 in the GNAC. Vikings 8-5, tied for third. The Vikings are in the GNAC standings. This will be a big one here between these two teams. The Vikings are the one loss on Seattle Pacific's schedule in the GNAC conference so far. And not just any old loss. It was a 3-set sweep for the Vikings over Seattle Pacific. A 25-22, 25-20, and 25-22 once again sweep for them. They'll come into this one now with the home court advantage to try and take advantage of this Seattle Pacific team that has struggled against Western Washington in the history between these two. Vikings come into this one. It is a 3-way tie right now in the GNAC between St. Martin's Simon Fraser and Western Washington at 8-5, sitting at third behind Central Washington's 10-4. Seattle Pacific, of course, 13-1 on the year. They're having a phenomenal year, ranked 18th in the entire nation for Division II volleyball. Vikings coming off a win on Thursday against Montana State Billings, the first 3-set victory for the Vikings, the first sweep of the season at home here. We'll see if the Vikings can carry the momentum into this Saturday night game. Seattle Pacific will have the ball first. Zoe Schukart gets us started, the senior defensive specialist. We will see what these two teams who have had a long history have in store for this one. Vikings on offense first. It is Adele Holland to Devin Ostrich. It is bumped up by Tolino. There's the attack, bumped up. Brock Vogel's attack is unsuccessful. They'll try Ostrich again, and she goes into her own net. And it'll be a point to Seattle Pacific to get things started. Seattle Pacific enters this game on a 7-game winning streak. A win tonight would be win number 20 on the season overall for Seattle Pacific. That would be their first 20-win season since 2011. There's the set to Carly Try. Good bump up that time by Tolino. Forced over the net by Wilkes. Here's the Vikings with Ostrich. Takes the deflection, bumped up and out of bounds on the outside of the antenna. Emily Tolino hits it out of bounds, and it's a point for the Vikings. What you have to worry about with this Seattle Pacific team is that net presence. The season that Hannah Hare is having. She's not on the court for the Falcons just yet, but leading all of Division II in blocks per set. The Vikings are going to have to look out for that one tonight. A great serve from Devin Ostrich in the back. Libero will bump it over. Here are the Vikes now. That's a setup for Gabby Kepley with the left. And that one is hit out of bounds by Christina Lopez, the libero for Seattle Pacific. And Gabby Kepley has herself her first kill in this one. Gabby Kepley Thursday night, last time out, had 7 kills for the Vikings on a 333. Vikings up 1. Here's Ostrich. Good serve once again. Seattle Pacific will have an attack. It takes a deflection, but it also is a violation on the Vikings side, running into the net on the block attempt. It was Kepley and Holland up there, I believe. There's Kepley and Try. Looks like one of them came across. So it puts us back to even. Allison Wilkes on the serve. Bumped up by Abby May, the libero, making the start once again tonight. Emily Tolino sets this one up, and it is into her own net from Erin Smith. A senior middle blocker could not convert on that one, and they give away a point. Abby May is off for the Vikings. Emily Vossenkuhl is on, and it is Carly Try back to serve. She had herself a great night on Thursday. 11 kills, led the way for the Vikings. Good serve from her. This one's bumped up by Tolino. That attack is good from Brockvogel off the hands of Adele Holland in the backside. And Sarah Brockvogel has her first kill in this one. Brockvogel comes into this averaging 3.3 kills per set. That's the 3rd best average in the GNAC. It's been back and forth to start this one, all tied up at 3. That one served that time by Sophia Chambers. Here's Adele Holland of Vossenkuhl, and they are going to get a violation on the Viking side once again. That one on Adele Holland on the set. Vikings have came across that middle line just a couple of times tonight. Already in this first, giving away some free points in what is going to be a tough matchup. Cannot afford to make those mistakes. Sophia Chambers to serve once again, the freshman out of Texas. She makes the error on it, so the Vikings will get it back. Lucky break for the Vikings as Carolyn Hansen and Anu Lopez will come onto the court. Hansen in Thursday night's game had 16 assists. Her and Adele Holland split the work. Holland with 20 on Thursday. Hansen will serve it as well. Carolyn Hansen delivers it over. They feed it that time to Hannah Hare, and she finds success. Hannah Hare calling her name out for the first time on offense. I mentioned, of course, number 1 in the blocks, but she can provide it on offense as well. As right there, you see a beautiful hit from that middle blocker position. She's currently hitting a .315, the 4th best percentage in the GNAC this season, and there's going to be an ace. And that was a hittable ball from the Vikings in the back row. Right in between Spear and Ostrich. Spear backed off from it, and Ostrich didn't realize she was going to, so it'll be Sarah Brockvogel to serve again. Seattle Pacific up 2. They read it this time, and out of bounds it is. A service error. Another one's for Seattle Pacific. We'll give it back to the Vikings. Second service error already early in this first set. Delaney Spear is back to serve. She had 16 digs and 8 kills on Thursday. Here's Seattle Pacific from the back row. Brockvogel denied by Vossenkuhl. Bumped up in the air and denied again, but onto the Vikings side. So an unsuccessful block attempt from Anu Lopez and Emily Vossenkuhl as that one gets mixed up onto the Vikings side. Some good positioning. You can see Emily Vossenkuhl on the first solo block. Just could not get enough of that one, and Anu Lopez couldn't keep it up for the Vikings. Christina Lopez to serve it again. That one's going to be way long, and a good read by the Vikings. Again, another service error here for Seattle Pacific. Seattle Pacific has been a very clean team this season. On average, they have 100 less errors on the year than their opponents. A little bit over 100, but they're committing some tonight. This one's got a chance for an ace if that one drifts over, but it does, and out of bounds though, so it will be an ace for the Vikings. And from who else but Abby May. She closed out Thursday night with 3 straight aces against Montana State, and she gets her first in this one. The Vikings tie it back at 7 now. Just waiting to see which team breaks away in the first set. Abby May with another great serve. That one bumped up by Sophia Chambers, and attacked and blocked. Sydney Perry was on the attack for Seattle Pacific. Here's Anu Lopez. Takes a block, and Seattle Pacific has it. Chambers sets it up, delivered by Allison Wilkes. Deflected off of Hanson, but Allison Wilkes has herself a kill on that possession. Emily Tolino back for Seattle Pacific. Seattle Pacific hitting it a percentage of 40% right now on offense. There's Carly Try for the Vikings. And Carly Try gets herself on the board for the Vikes after a big Thursday night. Gets it done for the first time. A great set by Carolyn Hansen as well. And the Vikings just back and forth. Neither team not giving up any room. This is going to be a fun one here. Adele Holland back to serve for the Vikes. Delivers a floater over. Bumped up by Brock Vogel. On the attack is Perry. And Perry finds success. That is Sydney Perry, the senior from the outside. She will drop back to serve it as well for Seattle Pacific. You can see on the hit. And Diane Flick-Williams, not sure we got that here, but she said, why not, when she went to go challenge this play. Going to see if that one's in or not. Diane Flick-Williams, notorious for being successful on challenges, kind of just went on a whim for this one. We'll see. Seattle Pacific up by 1 in such a tight game. I don't blame the head coach for taking a second look at this one. So in the GNAC today, we have already had 2 finals. Central Washington swept Northwest Nazarene on the road down in Idaho. And Western Oregon beat Alaska Anchorage up in Alaska 3-1. Currently have 3 games going on, including this one. St. Martin's taking on Alaska Anchorage, and Montana State taking on Simon Fraser. And then, of course, this game happening tonight. Simon Fraser faced Seattle Pacific on Thursday, and it couldn't have been closer in the 5-set victory for the Falcons in that one. It came down to that final 5th set, and it was a final of 15-13 in the final set. Seattle Pacific coming out on top, of course. Hannah Hare in that game had 10 total blocks. Haven't seen much from her tonight on the block, but we're still early in it, of course. But for Hannah Hare, that was the 5th time that she reached double-digit blocks this season. Hannah Hare having a special season. The only game where she has been shut down was the very game against Western Washington in Seattle Pacific earlier this year. It was the first time that Hannah Hare was held for 0 blocks, and it continues to be her only game without a single block. Seattle Pacific showing a bigger fight in this one. It was a close one in the 3-set victory, as I talked about when we got started here, but this first set could be a huge decider into which team gains the momentum going forward in what has been a one-sided battle between these 2 teams, historically at least. Looking back on the history between the Falcons and the Vikings, Seattle Pacific has not defeated the Vikings in a regular season GNAC match since October 24th, 2013. That was actually in Bellingham as well. Now, there's a little bit of an asterisk on that because Seattle Pacific won 2 games in the shortened spring 2020 season, but in a serious GNAC match, it has not been a Seattle Pacific victory since 2013. But this year seems to be the year where Seattle Pacific could try and break that one. Of course, Seattle Pacific number 18 in the nation. Couldn't get the best of the Vikings earlier, and we're going to have a ruling on the court here off the challenge. And it's out of bounds, so it will go to the Vikings. So Diane Flick-Williams with another successful challenge here at Carver Gymnasium. Vikings will lead it by 1. Score flips on its head. And now Adele Holland will be back to serve. Once again from Holland. Dug up that time by Lopez. Set up by Tolino. And that one attacked and successfully by Sydney Perry. So she gets it right back despite her last attack being overturned. SPU back to serve it with Perry, all tied up at 9. Dug up by Abby May. Adele Holland on the set. Ostrich. And on a double that time, the Vikings possession will end. Adele Holland has had some struggles here in the latter half of the season with her doubles. So the ball handling violation gives Seattle Pacific the ball and a 1-point lead. That's a serve that might have gone out. Abby May kept it in with some good hustle. Here is Ostrich, denied. Allison Wilkes on the denial right there from the middle blocker position. Wilkes is averaging .91 blocks per set. She picks up her first in the first set, and she is hyped up about it as well. Currently 12th in the GNAC for blocks per set. Bumped up by Spear. There is Carly Try, kept alive nicely by Tolino. Here's the attack from Brock Vogel, and out of bounds. No deflection on it, and a good read by the Vikings to let that one go far. Brock Vogel having a great year, of course. She's 3rd in the GNAC, 4 points, as well as having the 20th best hitting percentage, but misses on that one. It is Devin Ostrich to serve. She's coming off a 3-ace game. Those 3 aces all came in the first set. There's an attack, and somehow Brock Vogel gets that one over the net and into a spot where there was no Viking to do it. She was very close to the net, almost ran into the ladder on the far side. And somehow, off the outside of the hand, maybe not the perfect hit, but it got done for her. SPU up by 2 now. Allison Wilkes to serve it. Abby May digs it up. Adele Holland on the bump. Here is Gabby Kepley with the left, denied at the net, and that's Hannah Hare for the first time tonight at the net right there. Sarah Brockvogel will get the assist on the block as well. And we're going to get a timeout from Diane Flick-Williams. Her team down 3 early in the first when we come back on Vikings TV. Welcome back to the WECU Court here on Western Washington. Vikings down 3 coming out of the timeout. So far for the Vikings in this first set, struggling on the offense. 3 total kills, but 3 errors as well. So a hitting percentage of nothing. 1 ace for the Vikings, 1 block. Seattle Pacific up 3 in this one. They're hitting .286 on 7 kills and 3 errors. It'll be SPU's ball out of the timeout. Allison Wilkes will serve it. 1 ace for Seattle Pacific tonight came from Brock Vogel earlier in the first. There's Wilkes' serve. Abby May from the back line. Adele Holland on the set. Delaney Spears stutter step hit. Bumped up in the back line by Shukar. That one dug up by Ostrich on a very nice dig. Here's Spear from a standstill. Takes a deflection. Running bump up by Tolino. Brock Vogel at the net, but Gabby Kepley was there as well. And the Vikings find a point out of the timeout thanks to the help of Gabby Kepley at the net. They go back to Brock Vogel here, but Try and Kepley will both get the assist on the block. And the Vikings trail 11-13. Carly Try on the serve. Brock Vogel sets it up. Tolino denied at the net by the Vikings. Once again on the net, the Vikings with Emily Vosnicool and Delaney Spear both there. Shut down the attack from Aaron Smith. Just great positioning for the Vikings. And they're actually out blocking Seattle Pacific in this first set thus far. Carly Try on the serve. And that one's going to go too long, a service error for Try. For the middle blocker, Carly Try, she has had a good year serving the ball. Not many errors to her name, but there just goes a bit long on it. She will sub off. Back for the Falcons is Sophia Chambers. Freshman has a service error tonight. Drifts that one over the net. Adele Holland running for it. Here's Delaney Spear. Denied and inbounds. Hannah Hare is there, as well as Maddie Pruden. They both get some pieces of that one, and they send it back over. This is going to be the story of the night. The net presence from Seattle Pacific has just dominated team after team this season. GNAC and not. Abby May on the dig after the serve. Here is Kepley. She doesn't get a good hit on it into her own side. Seattle Pacific, and what had started as a back and forth, 1 point to Seattle, 1 point to Western Washington. Seattle Pacific now pulling away, up 4. Biggest lead of the game by either side. Here's a serve from Sophia Chambers, dug up by Abby May. Set back for Kepley. She gets a successful one off a deflection. Kept alive by Lopez. Here's the set and the attack denied by Vossenkuhl at the net. Brock Vogel sets it over. Delaney Spear to Holland. Vossenkuhl into the back corner. Emily Vossenkuhl has her first kill tonight on that one. A very pretty rally for the Vikings there. A great block, and then an even better set. And delivery from Emily Vossenkuhl was a bit under it, but got enough of it to find the open court. Anu Lopez and Carolyn Hansen back on for the Vikings. That one dug up by Brock Vogel, set up and hit that time by Pruden, kept alive by Abby May. Delaney Spear is denied. Hannah Hare, as well as Sarah Brock Vogel. Brock Vogel standing at 6 foot, Hannah Hare at 6'1", and they add the vertical to it as well. Unstoppable on that side. Delaney Spear has been shut down over and over again already in this first set. SPU back up by 4, but a too long serve has been the story in this first set. That will be service error number 4 for Seattle Pacific, and they give it back to the Vikings side. It'll be Delaney Spear to serve. Spear delivers it over. A good save by Lopez. One-handed setup. Lopez will bump it over. Hansen on the set. Anu Lopez with a floater. Bumped up by Pruden. Here's the set. That one from Perry. Vikings keep it alive, though. And now Devin Ostrich on the jump. Lopez is there. Bumped up by Chambers. Sent over by Perry. Abby May is there off a deflection. Vikings will try Ostrich again. It drifts over the hands of Hare off a deflection. And Devin Ostrich finds success over the hands of Hannah Hare. Devin Ostrich, the offensive leader for this Vikings team. 13th in the GNAC with 2.54 kills per set. Find success for kill number 2 for her. And that's a perfect serve into the corner. A bad read by Lopez. And the Vikings have an ace from Delaney Spear this time. That one was just a dive ball that found the perfect spot. And Spear, the redshirt freshman out of Tahoma High School in Maple Valley, puts the Vikings just down by 1, and back-to-back aces from Delaney Spear. Huge serves back-to-back from Spear. Perry just mishandled this one. And that's going to force a timeout from head coach Jason Ryan on the Seattle Pacific side. All tied up 17-7 when we come back. Welcome back to Carver Gymnasium, where the Vikings are rallying. They've tied things at 17 here. And the difference over the last couple of points and throughout this first set has been the Vikings 3 aces to 1 service error. Seattle Pacific 4 service errors to 1 ace. Vikings have the better of that ratio from behind the back line. Vikings come out of the Seattle Pacific timeout with the ball. Delaney Spear has had back-to-back aces. They tried to cool her down with a timeout. She delivers a good one to Perry. There's the attack from Hare, bumped up by May, but no one is there into the corner. And out of the timeout, Seattle Pacific picks up the point from Hannah Hare. Her second kill tonight. Hare already has 3 block assists as well. Responsible for 3.5 points. Here's a serve from Lopez. Drifted over, Spear is there. Carolyn Hansen on the set. Vossen Cool didn't get all of it. The underhand bump up by Lopez. That one set up Anu Lopez. Kept alive by Christina Lopez. That one pushed over Brock Vogel, and Delaney Spear diving for it, could not get there. Vikings trail it by 2. Good save by Christina Lopez on an attack by Anu Lopez that looked like it was going to hit that sideline. Christina back to serve. Abby May is there for it. Hansen on the set. Vossen Cool pushes it into the back line. This one set up by Chambers. The attack delivered straight into Hansen by Maddie Pruden. And Hansen cannot get the clean contact on it. And Seattle Pacific has hit 20 in this one, up 3 now over the Vikings. Vikings have not scored out of the timeout. Lopez delivers it over. Spear on the bump. There's a bump from Hansen as well. Devin Ostrich takes a deflection, and then a double deflection. Goes over the head of Christina Lopez. Vikings find success that time on a bit of a mistake from Seattle Pacific. Devin Ostrich takes advantage. Tipped off the fingers of Allison Wilkes at the net. Just threw off Christina Lopez in the back line just enough. Vikings keeping it close. Abby May on the serve. That's a diving one. Takes the 3rd hit, and how about that from Seattle Pacific? Looked like it was going to be an ace, but Carly Try instead will get the point for the Vikings on the kill. So props to Seattle Pacific. Look at this, that 1-2-3. Magical how it got over, but then the Vikings answer with Carly Try. And they now just trail by 1 here late in the first set. Abby May on the serve again. It's a good one. Bumped up by Brock Vogel. Here's the attack, and a good one it is. Maddie Pruden again takes a deflection and into empty court on the Vikings side. Maddie Pruden picks up another kill tonight. Seattle Pacific with Emily Tolino back to serve it. SPU up 2. Spear on the bump. Lopez now. Back to Spear. A hard hit. Takes a deflection. Christina Lopez with the hustle. 1 more to go, and Sydney Perry gets it over. Vikings wanted that one. Carly Try will try and get it, but it's bumped up. Here's Seattle Pacific now. There's the attack. Takes a tip. Aaron Smith unsuccessful. Vikings now. Spear from way back. Kept alive, but back to the Vikings side. It'll be a 1-2-3 now. Here is Hansen. Over to Ostrich on a loft. Kept alive by Brock Vogel. Push to the far side. Perry's hit takes a deflection and out of bounds. Sydney Perry from off the bench gives Seattle Pacific a 3-point lead now. Perry has the 2nd most kills on the team off the bench with 3. Hitting a .286. Seattle Pacific up 3 points away from a first set victory here in Carver Gymnasium, home of the Vikings. Emily Tolino on the serve. Bumped up by Delaney Spear. Carolyn Hansen on the set. Carly Try with just some finesse moves. Seattle Pacific, good job to keep it alive, though. Perry denied. Carly Try and Anu Lopez there as well. Bringing some fire into the Vikings side of things, keeping the crowd in this first set. Vikings trail by 2. It's not over yet. Do not count out these Vikings. It will be Adele Holland to serve. That one straight to Brock Vogel. Set over and delivered by Wilkes on a short set. A beautiful one as well. Dimed up by Emily Tolino. Just look at this beautiful set. Right where it needed to be for the swinging Wilkes. Timeout on the floor by Western Washington. They're down 3 when we come back on Vikings TV. Welcome back to Vikings TV. Vikings off their own timeout, in danger of dropping set number 1 to 13-1 Seattle Pacific. SPU and head coach Jason Ryan looking to close it out here and take a first set victory over the Vikings in a facility that Seattle Pacific has struggled. It would be a huge momentum boost. Vikings have Seattle Pacific's number so far this season, of course, with the sweep earlier. But this would be a good momentum grab to come into the Vikings turf and take it over. Sydney Perry will serve it. SPU 2 away from a first set victory. Here we go. Perry delivers it too far. A huge break for the Vikings in what has been a consistent problem for Seattle Pacific's service error number 5 just in this set. So Devin Ostrich will get to serve for the Vikes. Ostrich delivers. Lopez on the bump. That one set up by Toledo. And off a deflection and out of bounds. That will be successful by Sarah Brock-Vogel. Vikings now just 1 point away from going down 0-1 here at home. It'll be Allison Wilkes to serve. SPU trying to close it out. Here is Wilkes. Abby Mays there. Holland on the set. Delaney Spear. That one denied by Hare back to the Vikings side. Delaney Spear, and there's a double on Adele Holland, and that's how the first set is going to end, on an error by the Vikings. 25-21, first set victory for Seattle Pacific. They're going to switch sides, and after a quick break, we'll be back here on Vikings TV. We welcome you back here to Carver Gymnasium. Second set about to get underway. Seattle Pacific up 1-0 over the Vikings after a 14-kill performance from Seattle Pacific on a .258 hitting percentage. It would have been a lot uglier if they didn't have their 5 service errors. Seattle Pacific allowed Western Washington to keep it close, but the Vikings end up taking the loss. Vikings hit .031 in that first set. 7 attacks and 6 attack errors for the Vikings. They are led so far in this one by Devin Ostrich with 3 kills out of the Vikings' 7. So for Seattle Pacific, they'll be trying to work towards what may be a sweep for their side is what they're thinking in their heads. The Vikings in this second set trying to even it up and then push this game further down the line. Vikings have had a couple of long matches here at Carver Gymnasium, a 5-set loss against Simon Fraser, most recently on last Saturday. We're underway here. Brock Vogel on the attack and denied by Emily Vossenkool. Emily Vossenkool provides that net presence that she has had all year. Vossenkool, redshirt freshman, sitting at 26th in all of Division II with 1.16 blocks per set, 3rd in the GNAC. Set over by Spear, set up by Tolino. That one pushed over by Aaron Smith. Vikings now on the attack. Devin Ostrich. Lopez keeps it up. This one set up that time for Wilkes. Vikings keep it in their side thanks to Abby May. Devin Ostrich is way too long under that ball, and it drifts over and out of bounds for Seattle Pacific's first point of the second set. Hannah Hare checks back in for the Falcons. Allison Wilkes is back to serve. Wilkes so far tonight, 2 kills on 4 attempts with a solo block as well for her. Here's the serve, all tied up early in this second. Vikings on 1 hit, send it back over to the Falcons side. Hannah Hare gets denied by Vossenkool and Ostrich. This one set up for Brock Vogel, pushed over. Hansen is there. Anu Lopez on the bump. And now it is Delaney Spear from the standstill hit. Wilkes will bump it up. Here is Aaron Smith with a loft over. Anu Lopez is there. Spear with a jump hit from the back line. Tolino sets it back for Smith. And a good wind-up hit and delivery by Aaron Smith to pick up the kill on that one. He really tried to force that possession in that rally straight to Aaron Smith 3 times to her. Find success on the last one, and that's all that matters. She picks up the kill. That will go down as Smith's first kill in 6 attempts. And there's a service error out of bounds. So for Seattle Pacific, what they struggled with when they were facing the Vikings at home was their hitting percentage at a .75. They were serving it just fine that night. It was their offense that wasn't coming through. Tonight their offense hitting .211 but giving up 6 service errors. We're all tied at 2. That one's bumped up by Zoe Schuchart. And that one's going to hit off the antenna on the attack from Sarah Brockvogel. So out of bounds it is, and the Vikings get the point on that one. Abby May will drop back to serve it for the Vikings. She has an ace tonight to go along with 6 digs for her, making her 4th start this season as a libero. Finley Clay's inactive with a left arm injury. This one bumped up awkwardly to the side. Aaron Smith hits it into her own net, and Seattle Pacific with a couple of bad possessions, and the Vikings will take that to take a 2-point lead. Ties the biggest lead for the Vikings in this game. And now Abby May back once again. May delivers it over. Brock Vogel is there, though. They will try with Aaron Smith, and Smith finds success again for the 2nd time in this set early. Seattle Pacific comes back with a great offensive possession. A good set by Emily Tolino, the junior, out of Carlsbad. Back to serve is Sophia Chambers. Chambers on a lofter is too long, and another service error. I don't know if it's the air traveling north for Seattle Pacific. They're drifting on all their serves long. They've been on target. It's not like they've been wide. They're just too long every time. Seattle Pacific now 7 service errors Their most service errors on the year are 13. That came against Cal State San Marcos. And the Vikings answered back with an ace of their own right there after the error from Seattle Pacific, showing how the Vikings have dominated from behind the service line. Adele Holland with an ace. The most service errors by Seattle Pacific in a GNAC game this season is 12 against Montana State Billings on the 14th of October. Hannah Hare takes a deflection. Good keep up by Delaney Spear as well. And now Ostrich is too long on her hit. Christina Lopez catches a break as she was trying to play that ball as if it was in. Took a dive for it in the back line. That one will go as a miss for Devin Ostrich. Sarah Brockvogel will serve it. Senior out of Mukilteo, Washington. Delaney Spear with the dig off the serve. Adele Holland with a very low set. Adele Holland struggling in these last couple of games. That one was not called a double, but it was not successful either. Seattle Pacific down by 1 in this one still, though. Brockvogel with a serve to Spear once again. Adele Holland will have a bump this time, and Gabby Kepley, she is denied by Seattle Pacific. Carly Try this time on the Vikings side. It is Gabby Kepley again, and this time she switches sides, uses the left and keeps it in bounds. Gabby Kepley with a kill. So they tried her on the far side, and then they bring her over to the right side for the Vikings, and now a 2-point Vikings lead for the junior Gabby Kepley. Devin Ostrich on knuckleball over. Here is Chambers now with the setup to Perry. And Sydney Perry delivers right there, as she has all night. Sydney Perry now up to 4 kills for Seattle Pacific. Just 1 kill behind the leader in Sarah Brockvogel. That one delivered over. Abby May on the bump. Adele Holland sets it up for Carly Try on a lift. Perry is there to bump it. Here's the setup and the hit right there from Maddie Pruden. And I believe they got Carly Try with a violation as well there, but either way, it's going to end up being a point for Seattle Pacific. All tied up now, back at 7. Christina Lopez with the serve. Abby May had to back up for it. Delaney Spear now from Ostrich. Did it take a deflection out the net? Yes, it did, says down referee. Off the tip, Spear finds success. Delaney Spear had been quiet up to this point. No kills to her name. That's her first of the game. She had struggled in her first 9 total attack attempts. That was the second most for the Vikings. She's denied a couple times by Hare as well as Wilkes. There's Sydney Perry on a loft. Pancake from Holland, kept alive by Vossenkuhl. And Delaney Spear hits it over, and no one is there. On an easy ball for Seattle Pacific, Christina Lopez as well as Sarah Brockvogel could not get there. Saw something like that in the first, but look at that. Adele Holland with the pancake, and then Delaney Spear wasn't necessarily trying to do anything pretty with it, but she'll take the kill on that one. Back-to-back for Spear. And an ace from the Vikings. They have just been serving it well over these last couple of games. Ace number 5 in this one. That's going to force a timeout from Jason Ryan. Falcons timeout, 10-7 Vikings leading when we come back on Vikings TV. We're poking back out of the timeout from the Seattle Pacific side. Vikings leading it by 3 in the second set, down 1-0 in the match to Seattle Pacific, but they have been serving it. The Vikings have extremely well. 5 aces I mentioned before the break. It has been a good run from behind the line, here at home especially. Against Simon Fraser, Vikings tied their season-high 11 service aces last Saturday. And then on Thursday, they put up 8 service aces as well. Already with 5 tonight. Carly Tri with a serve. Bumped up by Brock Vogel. There is a rising up hit from Wilkes, but the Vikings have it on their side. Gabby Kepley with a hard hit, takes a deflection. Lopez with the bump. This time it is Pruden, and Maddie Pruden with the kill out of the timeout. We've seen some good back and forth between these two teams. Whether it's not a successful block, everyone behind your 2 front blockers are doing a great job keeping this up, and you saw that with Seattle Pacific. We've seen it all night from both sides. Emily Tolino will be back to serve. That one served and long again for Seattle Pacific. Jason Ryan cannot be happy with this from his team. It has been ugly from behind the service line. Now 8 service errors tonight. As Carolyn Hansen comes on, as well as Anu Lopez, Gabby Kepley and Adele Holland will sit down. And that is Carolyn Hansen back to serve. Vikes up 3 now. That one kept alive and in on a ball that was questionable to the side. That takes a deflection on the attack from Smith. Pushed over to Delaney Spear. That one kept up by Brock Vogel. Sent over now to Perry. Takes a deflection and out of bounds. Spear could not get a clean enough block on it. And another successful kill for Sydney Perry. Perry now tied for the game high. 5 kills after that one. Coming in to serve it now off the substitution is Zoe Schuckart. She is a service specialist for the Seattle Pacific team. Delivers a good one. Vikings will get a hit out of it, but Delaney Spear got deflected just a little bit. Now Seattle Pacific on the attack. Brock Vogel lofts it over. Vikings now with Hansen. Anu Lopez with a floater. Lopez gets that easy. Set up by Tolino. Takes a deflection off of Smith, and then Lopez cannot keep it up. And Seattle Pacific has cut this down to now just a 1-point game here in the second set. It was about this time in the first set where we saw Seattle Pacific take off to a 5-point lead, and then they would not let up to the Vikings. See if Western Washington can counter. Here is Spear, denied at the net. A great block from Erin Smith as well as Allison Wilkes there. Both sides had 4 total blocks in the first set. Vikes had 2 in this one, and that is the first block for Seattle Pacific. Seattle Pacific is leading the nation in blocks per set. Picks up their first right there of this one. Delaney Spear on the attack. Back to the Vikings side. Here is Vossenkuhl. Sets it up. Spear again. Bumped up in the back by Schuckart. Sent far side. Brock Vogel. Bumped up by Ostrich. Carolyn Hansen. Vossenkuhl denied. Abby May is there, though. Good rally from teams here. Delaney Spear on the back line. Lopez keeps it up. That one is denied. Wilkes tried it. Vossenkuhl denied it. Vossenkuhl with her 3rd block assist of the night for the Vikings, leading the way as she should at that middle blocker position. Fired up after that one. Vikings up by 1. Spear back to serve. That one bumped up. Tolino on the set. A rising hit from Smith. Battle at the net from the 2 sides, and that's onto the Vikings side. Vossenkuhl comes down, but she is all right. Hoping she didn't roll an ankle or nothing there. Vikings have struggled with some injuries this year. Kylie Honrud being out for the season, the senior pin hitter. Finley Clay's out for the moment. Asia Stewart, one of our middle blockers, out for the year. This one bumped up by Spear. Vossenkuhl rises up, and Hannah Hare could not get it. A battle of the 2 MBs. Vossenkuhl comes out on top. She'll go take a rest as Carly Tri comes on. Look at the power from Emily Vossenkuhl on that hit. Kill number 2 for Voss on the night. Abby May back to serve it. Kept up on a bump. Brock Vogel with a beautiful hit. And that 1-2-3 just looked unstoppable from the Seattle Pacific side. A perfect hit from Sarah Brockvogel. And that's how you show off that you are one of the best killers in the GNAC this season. Evening it up here between these two teams. Bumped up by Abby May. Hansen at the net, and it actually comes into contact with the outside part of the net. That is out of bounds for the Vikings. That'll be a point for Seattle Pacific. Sophia Chambers was the one who served it well. Diving save by Spear. Here is Anu Lopez. That one takes a deflection and back and out of bounds. Anu Lopez gets her first kill of the night after being activated just recently in the Thursday game. She played in all 3 sets, having 3 kills, 2 attack errors as well. 3 kills was her new career high that night. Lopez seeing the limited work this season, of course. There's an attack from Brockvogel, just too strong on it. We saw her strength come into play from the left side on the hit just a few points ago, but this time tried to go opposite side with it. Looks like she got a awkward part of her hand as well. It's out of bounds, Vikes up 1. Del Holland drifts it over, Lopez there. That one's set up by Chambers. A diving attempt by Abby May on the hit over from Seattle Pacific, but that one will drop and re-even it up as Sydney Perry comes on. Sarah Brockvogel to serve. 15 all. This could be a huge next point as teams shift into the single-digit range, trying to go for 25. SPU having a down set compared to the last one, hitting a 192. Abby May bumps up the serve. Here's Adele Holland. And another error on Adele Holland on the double. And for someone like Holland, it's her first real year seeing extensive setter work since 2021. She's struggled with doubles in the last couple of games. You got to wonder what the mental is. She sets that one up to try. And they're going to get a violation here on Sydney Perry coming into contact with the net. So it re-evens at 16. So 2 mistakes on both sides that make us even here once again. We'll see which team finds a successful offensive attack to regain a point here. It'll be Brockvogel. Abby May keeps it up, though. Holland tries to tip it over, and Holland came into contact with the net, trying to do so. It'll go back to Seattle Pacific's side. Christina Lopez will be back to serve. SPU up 1, trying to go on that extensive run they did in the first to keep the Vikings out of range. Here are the Vikes, though, with Spear. Takes a deflection, and Delaney Spear finds success for kill number 3. The Vikings have dished it around tonight. Ostrich with 3, Try with 3. Now Spear up to 3 as well, in comparison to Sarah Brockvogel with 7 kills. But at the same time, Seattle Pacific 11 more kills in the match than Western Washington. We will see Anna Vanderyacht for the first time here tonight, coming in as the service specialist. Vanderyacht, the sophomore here for the Vikings, delivers it over. Perry on the bump. That one drifts into the back line, and now Perry will just bump it over as well. Here's Adele Holland on the back set to Gabby Kepley, and it is successful to Gabby Kepley. A good 1-2 right there. A great set from Adele Holland. That'll be Holland's 6th assist of the night, and for Gabby Kepley, her 3rd kill of the night. Vikings now 4 players with 3 kills. Bumped up by Perry. This one's got a chance, and it is going to fall over to the Seattle Pacific side. It's an ace for the Vikings. Anna Vanderyacht comes in and delivers for the Vikes. Number 6 on the night for Western Washington from behind the service line. Vikings up 2 here. I was saying SPU wanted to go on that run to extend a lead. Vikings got a chance at it here to try and hit 20. Here's SPU, though. That one denied. Vossenkuhl shuts down Maddie Pruden, and the Vikes are up 3 in a big spot in set number 2. Spear and Vossinkul were both there, and that's going to force a timeout from head coach Ryan on the Falcons side. Vikings up 20-17 when we come back after a short break. We welcome you back to what could be the end of this second set. Vikings trying to push to even things up 1-1 in the match. Up 20-17. It's their game to give away at this point. It's just a matter if they would remain consistent or not. Out of the timeout, up 3. Western Washington has the serve with Anna Vandriant. So Anna Vandriant with an ace already tonight, delivers that. That one's bumped up by Sarah Day. From the back line is Brock Vogel, and she's too long on it. That'll go to the Vikings. Brock Vogel a miss on that one, and she has struggled tonight now. 6 attack errors on the night for Brock Vogel, despite leading the team as well as in kills with 7. Bumped up by Brock Vogel, set by Chambers. That's a good hit right there by Wilkes, and it takes a deflection and out of bounds. Allison Wilkes with a great kill there to answer back. That's Wilkes, just her 3rd kill tonight. Vikings still up by 3, though. Emily Tolino on the serve for SPU. May on her knees, digs it up. Vossinkul rises up, good save by Brock Vogel. This one's set up and hit, denied! Gabby Kepley, as well as Vossinkul, both there to shut down Sarah Day. Vossinkul had a great attack and then aids on the block as well for the Vikings, up by 4 with Carolyn Hansen coming on. She has the serve here. Bumped up by Brock Vogel. This one will be an attack from Smith, and it's too long. Vikings take that. Jason Ryan questioning if there was a deflection, and he's going to use a challenge here as well. It would be a huge point in which Western Washington would be just 2 points away from winning this second set, but the challenge card is played. Diane Flick-Williams was successful back in the first. SPU's Jason Ryan will now try his luck with this one. So you may have noticed, of course, I'm taking you solo through this one. It's been a busy week for Western Washington Athletics today. Earlier today, 1 p.m., we had a women's soccer match against Montana State Billings down at Harrington Field. It was senior night for the women's soccer team. We honored Abigail Trengrove, Jaden Wynn, Peyton Neal, Katie Watt, Chloe Unflat, Ellie Busick, as well as Claire Henniger, our seniors down there at Harrington. And now Adam Race, of course, calling the game down there that is going on tonight at 7 p.m. It started. It is men's soccer, also senior night for them. They're honoring Brandon Locke, Theo Steinmetz, Kyoto Hiate, Mitchell Hutter, the captain, as well as Elliot Rains on senior night down there. Western Washington Volleyball has a couple more home games left, so we won't see our one senior in Kylie Honrud be honored until later this year. Vikings up next for them, volleyball-wise, the 9th. That's next Thursday will be a road match for them against Western Oregon down in Monmouth, Oregon. And then on Saturday, we will see them back. Excuse me, they will be on the road as well in that one against St. Martin's. But what we will have next weekend is going to be women's basketball here. We have the Western Washington University Veterans Day Classic. We'll have SPU, Cal State LA, women's basketball, of course, from the Vikings. So the call will not be overturned on the floor. An unsuccessful challenge from Jason Ryan, no deflection. And the Vikings will just be 2 away now from this victory. It'll be Carolyn Hansen back to serve. Hansen tonight 6 assists as one of our rotational setters. Brock Vogel, and that's gonna be an ace as Sarah Brock-Vogel could not dig that one out. 24-18. WW is up by 6, 1 away from a second set victory. A great answer back here for Western Washington. Here's Hansen on the serve. Bumped up by Lopez. There's the attack from Allison Wilkes, and she finds success. Allison Wilkes answering the Vikings and keeps SPU in this one, as Ostrich did not get enough of it in the back line. And there's a serve from SPU, and how about that? Out of bounds. I wouldn't have expected this set to end any other way than a service error. Number 9 in just 2 sets for Seattle Pacific. A 25-19 set victory for the Vikings. Second set is there. It is all tied up 1 apiece. And a huge third set coming up for both of these teams to try and grab momentum in what is guaranteed to at least go 4 or 5 tonight. So we're going to take a quick break here on the floor, and we'll be back for set number 3. We welcome you back in here to Carver Gymnasium. Vikings have tied it up at 1 here after the second set victory. Third set about to get underway. Seattle Pacific in that last set actually outkilled the Vikings 12-8, but it was the 9 attack errors and 4 service errors compared to the Vikings' 4 service aces that helped the Vikes get it done. And in addition to that, the Vikings outblocked Seattle Pacific 5-2, forcing SPU off their game. I mentioned earlier, the Falcons are the top blocking team in all of Division II. Yet the Vikings have been sticking it to them in this one. On the net, Vikings have 7 total blocks to Seattle Pacific's 5. Outblocking the #1 team in the nation is a good way to set yourself up for some victories. Third set, though, will have a big impact on how this game is decided. Whichever team goes on to win this will have the advantage in the 4th and the 5th with just 1 needed to take home a victory. SPU will get the serve. Back there will be Zoe Schuckart. And from Schuckart, she gets us started. Abby May with the first dig of the third set. Here is Delaney Spear, the first attack and the first kill. Spear having herself a night. Now 4 kills, 2 digs, and 2 aces to go along with 3 block assists. She leads the Vikings in points so far tonight, and the Vikes are off to a 1-0 start. 7.5 points for Delaney Spear. That serve, though, is too long, and a rare miss and error from the service line for the Vikes tonight. Just a service error number 2 tonight. So now Allison Wilkes will be back to serve. She has 4 kills tonight. A solo block, a block assist for her. A dig and a service error. Spear bumps it up. Here is Anu Lopez on the attack, and she is too long on it. So Vikings with some misses, and Seattle Pacific has 2 points on the board. Back to serve Allison Wilkes. Currently leads the GNAC with a .421 hitting percentage. Now, that percentage would be considered top 10 in the nation, but she's 1 attack shy of being ranked, with the minimum attacks being 260. She has 259 entering this game. That one rejected by the Vikings. It was Smith trying it. Emily Vossenkuhl is there for another block at the net. Carly Tribe will come on for Vossenkuhl as well. Ostrich and Vossenkuhl will both get the block on that one. The Vikings continuing some dominance at the net here in this one, something that the Vikings have not been doing this season all too often. I mean, they are ranked 5th in the GNAC for blocks per set, but it hasn't been overwhelming tonight. Seems like it might be for SPU. Brock Vogel gets it through the hands of Carly Try on that attack, and a successful kill for Brock Vogel. Vogel continues her team lead now, 8 kills. That's exactly what you could have expected entering this one. There's Chamber with the serve. Abby May. Hansen with the set to Lopez. Anu Lopez is going to get the kill on that one. It was almost kept alive by SPU, but it goes into the crowd, and Anu Lopez has herself a kill. That'll be Lopez's 2nd kill of the night in 7 attempts, to go along with 2 digs and 2 block assists. All tied up at 3. Adele Holland back to serve. She has an ace tonight. That one served over. Here's SPU. Hannah Hare. That one deflected by Gabby Kepley at the net. On the attack, Brock Vogel denied by Try, and SPU is not going to keep that one up. Carly Try with the rejection. Vikings cannot be stopped at the net tonight. Now up to 9 total blocks. And it was Ostrich and Try this time getting it done, kind of sticking it to the Seattle Pacific team. Beating them at their own game, if you would. Brock Vogel with a lift. Here is Kepley. That one kept up by Lopez. Chambers. And that one's out of bounds. Maddie Pruding couldn't get to it. And Western is up by 2 now on this one. How about the Vikings? Gabby Kepley with another good hit tonight. And then just a missed set by Sophia Chambers. Her and Emily Tolino are the rotational setters for this team. The Vikings and the Falcons having very similar situations at their setter position. And that serve is too long, so Seattle Pacific was the one that was committing most of the service errors, as I talked about right before we got started here. But that is the second service error for the Vikings in this game after having none in the second set and just one in the first. Delaney Spear bumps it up. Here is Carly Try on the floater. Chambers with the set. Hannah Hare is rejected by Kepley and Try. From the back, that one is going to be inbounds. Vikings couldn't read it right, and Sarah Brockvogel picks up the point on another kill for her. Nearing a double-double for Sarah Brockvogel. She has now 9 kills and 8 digs, as well as an ace. She's the only player in the game with double-digit points in this one. And when you're the third best player in the GNAC points-wise, that makes sense. Carly Try off a deflection for the Vikings. Christina Lopez over to Sydney Perry, takes a deflection, and they're going to have a violation on the Vikings. Goes on Carly Try. Coming into contact with the net, I believe it was called as, so Sarah Brockvogel will serve it up 1. Bumped up by Abby May. Adele Holland with the set. Carly Try drifting to her right, takes a deflection. Lopez bumps it back into play. Brockvogel from the back line. Here is Holland with the battle at the net. Vikings keep it alive, and they're going to have, I believe it might have been an interference call on the Vikings. I'm not entirely sure here. So SPU up by 2. Brockvogel with the serve from the opposite side. Here's Adele Holland with the set. Ostrich with a great rise up. And a beautiful kill from Devin Ostrich. Number 4 for her tonight. And just look at the vertical off this set. It's a high set. Ostrich just goes up and gets it. And delivers for the Vikings once again tonight. Ostrich to serve it as well. She has 4 kills tonight to go along with 5 digs and 2 assists, and there's her first ace of the night. The only Vikings without an ace are Gabby Kepley, Emily Vossenkuhl, and Anu Lopez. And we haven't seen Anu or Vossenkuhl serve tonight. 7-7. Chambers, Spear onto the Vikings side, and Delaney Spear knew it. She put a little bit extra on that ball. Took out the anger. And now her 5th kill tonight. She leads the way for the Vikings. Devin Ostrich with a good serve. Chambers with a set. Pushed over to Perry. That one is inbounds. Vikings have misread a couple balls in this set. It's all tied up at 8. Hannah Hare comes off. And SPU will send Christina Lopez back to serve. Christina Lopez with the serve. Bumped up by May. Adele Holland on the run. Kepley into the crowd. It gets over on the 3rd hit somehow. Chambers with a set now for Seattle Pacific. Lifted over by Pruden. Here is Holland over to Kepley. Bumped up good by Seattle Pacific. Here's Perry with a loft. Bumped up. Carly Try will try a back push, and she doubles on it. Tried to find a nice spot on it and be cheeky from the middle blocker position, but coming into an awkward contact on the touch is Carly Try. And now SPU will be up by 1. Lopez the serve again for the Falcons. Takes a deflection off the net. May keeps it up. Holland sets it back to Try. That one deflects off of the SPU side, and Carly Try gets herself a kill for the first time in a bit. Comes right back after making the error on the double. And a good job by Adele Holland to be so close to the net but not make contact and still deliver an assist for the Vikings. Here is Try on the serve. This one's set up, and that one was a good hit by Wilkes. Allison Wilkes, though, is denied of a kill by the Vikings' good defense. They're going to try it this time with Pruden. Ostrich keeps it up in the air. Vossenkuhl had to bump it. Kepley lifts it and delivers it over. A little bit of a floater. Now you can see here off this deflection from Ostrich, Vossenkuhl didn't know she was supposed to be there, so she ended up taking it from Holland. Vikings will shake it off, though. It still resulted in a point. Here is Try off a net deflection, and give Carly Try now her second ace of the game. Every Viking that has served it tonight has an ace. That is just a ridiculous stat. 9 total for the Vikings. Carly Try on the serve. Another good one. Lopez keeps it up, and now Brockvogel's going to deliver it long. Vikings feeling confident in this third set. It has looked good. Coming off the second set where they hit 200, they are hitting 333 with 2 aces and 3 blocks. SPU is without a block and an ace in this set. Here's a set from Chambers. Perry takes a deflection from the Vikings side. Adele Holland on the set. Emily Vossenkool into the back line inbounds as Emily Vossenkool. Vikings are rolling towards the midpoint of this third set. And what could be a crucial one, Jason Ryan will try and rally his troops back together, down 4 on the Seattle Pacific timeout. We'll be right back here on Vikings TV. Welcome back to Carver Gymnasium, home of the Vikings. They're up by 4 here in this third set. Coming out of a Seattle Pacific timeout, the Vikings going on an 8-2 run, forced the timeout from the Falcons' side. Vikings have just been getting it done in every way possible tonight. They have 8 kills already in this third set. In the first and second set, the first they had 7, the second they had 8 total kills, so they're already tied to their match high in a set. And we're just barely over halfway for the Vikings. Performing very well in this one in a set that could help decide the final here on the WECU Court. Carly Try to get us started. That one is bumped up by Brockvogel. It is Perry on the attack, and it takes a deflection off the Vikings' back line. And it'll go out of bounds. So the point goes to SPU out of the timeout. Sydney Perry gets her name called once again. Had a bit of an off second set after a phenomenal first off the bench. She's now up to 9 kills, tied for the match high with Sarah Brockvogel. Emily Tolino on the serve. Ostrich down on a knee, bumps it up. Here is Gabby Kepley with a floater, and Gabby Kepley has found success time and time again on the float. Kepley, kill number 6, taking over tonight. Carolyn Hansen will go back to serve. Vikings up 4. Hansen tonight has an ace and 8 assists. Bumped up by Brockvogel. There's an attack denied. Vikings, Vossenkool and Delaney Spear. If you were to tell someone that halfway through the third set, the Vikings would be beating the #1 team in the nation blocks-wise, I would have told you you're crazy. Here's Seattle Pacific. Sydney Perry comes back with success to reach double figures now with 10 kills. The 6'3" Sydney Perry, an outside hitter of that size, is just unstoppable with the right pass to her. SPU with the ball down 4. Zoe Schuckart on the serve. That one to Abby May. Carolyn Hansen into set. Delaney Spear is denied, and there it is from SPU. They come right back. Aaron Smith, so back-to-back very successful possessions for SPU. First on the offense, and there coming up on the defense. Now when you look at Seattle Pacific, this season. Their lowest total blocks came against Western Washington. They only had 3 as a team in the 3-set sweep for Western Washington. There's Delaney Spear. Tolino over to Brock Vogel. Abby May is there. That's going to drift over to Brock Vogel. Vikings now with Vossen Cool. Brock Vogel hits it up. Tolino on the set. That one hit and out of bounds from Aaron Smith. So a bit of back and forth from both sides. Aaron Smith with a miss hit. The attack error gives the Vikings the point. Delaney Spear will serve it. Delivered over, bumped up by Schuchart. On the run, Tolino. Brock Vogel gets a hit out of it. Delaney Spear on the bump. Here is Hansen over to Anu Lopez, rejected at the net. SPU trying to get back to what they've done all year. Some successful blocks in the last couple of points. Western Washington, though, still up by 3 here. That was Allison Wilkes there, as well as Sarah Brock Vogel picking up the blocks. Hannah Hare is back on for SPU. She's been quiet this game. Made some noise in the first set. Haven't heard from her much. Here is Hansen on the set. Vossenkool takes a deflection off of Hare, but Emily Vossenkool finds success. Hannah Hare was all alone there, and Vossenkool took advantage of it for her 4th kill of the night. Emily Vossenkool, 4 kills, 7 block assists for the middle blocker. This is the dominance that we have seen from the redshirt freshman at the middle blocker position for the Vikings this year. She has led the way. Vikes up 4. Here's Abby May. Brock Vogel. Back to Brock Vogel on the hit. Vikings on the attack with Spear. And that one is going to take a deflection off of Schuchart, and no SPU Falcon was there to keep it up. And that'll go down as a kill for Delaney Spear. You can see here the dig wasn't bad. It just caught everyone off guard. Brock Vogel was backing up, trying to get set up for a hit, and left that front left side open. Vikes up 5 now. Abby May. Kept up by Schuchart. Here's a set from Tolino. Hannah Hare somehow gets it over, and Anu Lopez with a bad punch as it goes off the Vikings' own side of the net. So Hannah Hare will get the kill on that one despite being short on it. Gets the benefit of the rollover. Here's Sophia Chambers on the serve. Bumped up by May. Here is Hansen over to Try. Takes a deflection. SPU now with Lopez. That one denied. Pruden. Carly Try had the rejection for the Vikes. Pruden with a bump. Gets it over. Abby May. Over to Hansen. Carly Try. Deflection from Hare. May again. Over to Hansen to Try again. Deja vu. Lopez keeps it up though. Here's Brock Vogel into the back line. A beautiful hit from Brock Vogel to keep SPU knocking at the door of the Vikings. Down 3. It was a good rally from both teams. Carly Try was asked upon, but it was just better defense from the Falcons to deny her. Hansen over to Ostrich, deflected. Back row Schuchart. Set up by Chambers. Brock Vogel again off a deflection and out of bounds. And we're going to see a timeout here from Diane Flick-Williams. Sarah Brock Vogel unstoppable tonight, 11 kills. SPU down 16-18 when we come back after the Vikings timeout. Welcome back to Carver Gymnasium. Vikings timeout on the floor. I mentioned coming out of the Seattle Pacific timeout earlier in this match when the Vikes were up 13-9. It was an 8-2 run that the Vikings had gone on, but ever since that timeout, Seattle Pacific up on a 7-5 run. Sydney Perry has led the way with Brock Vogel as well, both with 2 kills during that time. Right now, SPU has 3 straight points. Those being the main reason why head coach Diane Flick-Williams called the timeout on the floor. Brock Vogel, I mentioned before the break, 11 kills. She's also got 9 digs and an ace, so 1 dig away from a double-double. Sophia Chambers with the serve underway. SPU trailing by 2. Vikes trying to hold on to it. Anu Lopez off of Christina Lopez and out of bounds. Anu Lopez with another kill. Her 3rd tonight, ties her career high. Off the bench, the young buck finding success in these last 2 games, Thursday and Saturday. 3 kills in both now, with plenty of more game to go here for her to add to it. Adele Holland back to serve for the Vikings. Lifted over, bumped up by Brock Vogel. Here is Chambers back to Brock Vogel, takes a deflection. Carly Tri with a set, over to Kepley. Far corner kept up by Chambers. Lopez on a bump. Brock Vogel deflected and out of bounds. Sarah Brock Vogel having herself a night. Has not been the most efficient with it, but she has, in her defense, seen 34 total attacks. Has 8 attack errors, a hitting percentage of 118 so far tonight. It's been pretty even between these 2 teams now as the averages round out. SPU up to 181 on their hitting percentage. Vikings with a 163. Vikings still have 10 less kills than SPU. And in their defense, they have 7 more aces. Here's Holland on a bump. Devin Ostrich with a good hit. Lopez off a deflection from Chambers, and now Perry has to bump it backwards and onto the Vikings side. Here is Gabby Kepley with a push back and into the corner. Gabby Kepley, number 7 for her, coming alive in this one right when we need Kepley too. This is where you want your eldest players to come through in clutch moments in a set where one team is going to go up 2-1. Vikings trying to make it them. They've hit 20 now, 20-17 lead. And a rare miss hit from Devin Ostrich. She has been one of our best servers this year. Misses on that serve. It's an error for her. Coming off a 3-ace night, Ostrich was on Thursday. This night she had 1 ace so far. SPU down by 2. Abby May reads it out of bounds. A great read by the veteran Abby May. And I mean, I call her a veteran, but she's only a sophomore, but that's just how this team rolls. Abby May appeared in 100 sets last season, the only non-senior to do that. Appeared in every set for the Vikings last year. Anna Vanderyacht has herself an ace tonight. Delivers that one over Brock Vogel into her own net. And another attack error for Brock Vogel gives the Vikings a 4-point lead approaching the end of this one. 22-18, Vikings 3 away. Trying to close it out. Sophomore Vanderyacht delivers it over. Lopez on a bump. Brock Vogel from the backwards. Perry. Vikings keep it up. Here's Gabby Kepley. Hits it too far to the opposite side. Seen that a couple times tonight from Gabby Kepley. It's out of bounds. SPU down by 3. Vikings away. Vikings just 3 points away from a 3rd set victory. Emily Tolino to serve, the setter. Over to May. Holland with the set. Delaney Spear on the attack. Lopez bumps it and out of bounds. Delaney Spear finds success for kill number 7 to Spear. Her and Kepley have just taken off as these teams leaders in kills. And the Vikings are 2 points away now. Carolyn Hansen will go back to serve. And the young setter with an ace to her name tonight always finds herself in these big spots when it comes down to serving. That one set back and delivered by Perry. Sydney Perry now up to 11 kills. A great breakout game for Sydney Perry off the bench. Vikings still up by 3, but SPU does have the serve. Zoe Schukart to serve it. Bumped up by May. Here is Hansen to Anu Lopez. Bounces off the net. SPU has it. Over to Brock Vogel. Ostrich is there, but it's back to the other side. Push backwards. Aaron Smith finds success on a kill. Not over just yet, as SPU is just hanging around like a barnacle to the side of the Viking ship. There's the serve. Abby May on her knees. Hansen, back row, Ostrich. Bounced out. Here's Lopez. Brockvogel lofts it. Ostrich on the bump. Hansen over to Delaney Spear. Lifts it over. Here is SPU now. Aaron Smith again takes a deflection, and we have a violation on the Vikings side. That one to Delaney Spear. And it'll force a Diane Flick-Williams timeout, trying to not give away this third set. SPU is rallying 23-22 when we come back after a short break. Welcome back to Carver Gymnasium. Vikings timeout after a 4-1 Seattle Pacific run to make this a 1-point game. SPU looked like they were down and out, but they have rallied back thanks to Sydney Perry. 11 kills in this game. Ties a career high in just the third set. We're guaranteed to at least go 4 or 5 tonight. Perry is having herself a night. Her career high was set back in 2022 when she matched her career high from 2021. Here's Delaney Spear on the attack. Delaney Spear out of the timeout, and the Vikings just one away now. They'll have the serve. And gosh, could they use this to go up 2-1 against the best team in the conference at home. Here's Spear on the serve. She has 2 aces tonight. Is that number 3? No. Just a bit outside. On a very close serve, Diane Flick-Williams coming off the bench to ask her team maybe if it's worth a challenge. It is not. Look at this replay about how close that is, and that is a rough one for the Vikings to lose. 24-23. A huge third set. Vosenkool on the attack, bumped up by Wilkes. There's Smith, and she is too long on it. Attack error from Aaron Smith is how this thing ends. Vikings 25-23, third set victory. They come out on top despite some drama. The Vikings now will have set number 4 with the advantage to close things out. Seattle Pacific will look to push it to number 5 when we come back after a break. Set number 4 here at Carver Gymnasium. It's been a fun one. We'll be right back. We welcome you back to set number 4 here at Carver Gymnasium. Vikings up 2-1 in the match. Looking around the GNAC right now, Simon Frazier is going to take a victory over Montana State Billings in a 3-set sweep. So Simon Frazier on the standings will move up to 9-5. That is a big win for SFU because St. Martin's, Simon Frazier, and Western Washington are all tied for 3rd right now. So technically, since the result for Simon Frazier has already ended, they hold 3rd place. Vikings with a win right here. Good tie once again. Currently, St. Martin's taking on Alaska Anchorage in a first set that just will not end. A 28-26 victory is what it ended up being for Alaska Anchorage. So if they could upset St. Martin's, that would also be a big win for the Vikings standing-wise here in the GNAC. Delaney Spear and the Vikings will start things off here in set number 4. Vikings 1 set to close it out at home. Here's Spear. Bumped up by Lopez. On the attack is Wilkes, and off a deflection, Allison Wilkes finds success. The assist from Emily Tolino. Wilkes now 5 kills on the match. Wilkes has the serve as well. Delivers it over. Here are the Vikings. Ostrich takes a deflection. Carolyn Hansen there, and now Vossenkuhl sets it back to Ostrich. And a kill answers right back for Devin Ostrich. Used to being our leader in kills in this one, just her 5th, as Spear and Kepley have led the way, but Ostrich making work as well. We've seen Ostrich be one of our more clutch players in a 4th set. Could look for it. Abby May wearing a new jersey at libero serves that one. This one is set to Brock Vogel. May on the dig, and Hannah Hare slams it down for the point to the Vikings. Hansen tried to get it, but Hannah Hare had good awareness to dump that one right down to the Vikings side. So Hannah Hare gets the kill for that, her 4th. Set over, here are the Vikings. Abby May bumps it up. Ostrich, Brock Vogel keeps it up in the air. Shakart, and there's a free one for the Vikings now. Delaney Spear on a bump. Here is Carly Try, and Carly Try gets it off the assist from Carolyn Hansen. Carly Try, number 5 for her tonight. Our middle blockers have just been phenomenal tonight. Vossenkuhl with 4, Carly Try with 5, and between the two, 10 block assists. 7 for Vossenkuhl, 3 for Carly Try. Adele Holland all tied up at 2. Long way to go here in this 4th set for the Vikings. Brock Vogel off a deflection from the Vikings front line, drops into the court. And SBU has another kill from the hands of Brock Vogel, number 14 for her. She has a double-double with 10 digs. Leads the entire game with 15.5 points. That serve is too long. And Jason Ryan, head coach of Seattle Pacific, walking over to the table here to discuss with the down ref, holding that challenge card, and he's going to use it. Jason Ryan was unsuccessful earlier in this game on his challenge, trying to get that one. So they're going to take a look at it here. Calling back upon Harrington Field down here on the campus of Western Washington. Of course, Vikings men's soccer in action. They're now up 2-0 over Simon Frazier. 9 minutes left in the game. Vikings had a goal scored by Diego Alvarado, assisted by Eric Bunnell. And then Eric Bunnell also picked up an assist with Jacob Sundberg, diming it to the senior Elliott Rains. So 2 goals for the Vikings, a 2-0 lead for them down at Harrington on senior night. Good for them to potentially be taking home the victory. Both women's soccer and men's soccer trying to bring one home tonight, and then volleyball will try and follow suit here on this Saturday night. Vikings will have 2 road games after this and then finish their season here at home. The NCAA Division II West Regional will start on the 30th of November and go till December 2nd. We'll see if we get the Vikings in that one. They'll need a good run here. No overturn from Jason Ryan. He's confused about it. He really thought that might have been in. But we have the cameras for it, and they said, yep, out of bounds. So we will be tied at 3. Devin Ostrich will be back to serve for the Vikings. Ostrich 5 kills tonight, 3 assists, an ace, and 10 digs. Here is Sydney Perry off a deflection and out of bounds. Sydney Perry, a new career high for her. Off the deflection. Having herself a great game, a career game, of course. And it's a 4-3 SPU lead. Christina Lopez waiting as the court gets ready here. The libero today for Seattle Pacific. Lopez leads the team with 15 digs. Here are the Vikings on the attack. Gabby Kepley rises up and delivers again. Gabby Kepley, kill number 8 for her. Last time we saw Gabby Kepley dominate like this here at home was Western Oregon's game back on the 14th. Kepley picked up 15 kills. We got to speak to her post-game as well. Gabby Kepley having 8 kills tonight, the most since that Western Oregon game. 4-4, Perry, blocked by Kepley. Lopez on a bump. Now here is Coco Barnett, and she is way too long on it. So Barnett comes in on a sub. This is her first set that she's played, and she misses on her first attack attempt. It was a good job by the Vikings to shut down the attempt by Sydney Perry to make them try something else on the opposite side, and the attack error forces it. That's a bad set right there by Seattle Pacific, but Sydney Perry does get it over. Not an ace for the Vikings. Thought it was going to be. Here is Kepley. In the back line, Brock Vogel keeps it alive. Dumped over by SPU. And the awareness, the first one of those we've seen tonight, ties things back up at 5. You can see the replay here. That almost should have been an ace. And you see, I don't know if you were paying attention at least, but one of our line refs got taken out in the process of it by Christina Lopez. He's all right, though. He's a trooper back there. Back to serve, Emily Tolino. Delivers it over, Abby May on the bump. Here is Adele Holland with the set. Gabby Kepley over and deflected off of SPU and into the stands. Gabby Kepley, another kill tonight. Number 9 leading the way for the Vikings. She has the most kill by any Vikings tonight. The lefty gets it done. Vikings up 6-5 here. Kepley and Holland come off for the substitutions. Anu Lopez and Carolyn Hansen. Toledo over to Wilkes, and a great set and delivery from Emily Tolino to Allison Wilkes. Wilkes having herself a good start to set number 4 here now, already 2 kills in the set, with 6 on the game now for her. Hit over. Emily Vossenkool denied. Voss keeps it up. Lopez just pushes it over. Christina Lopez with a save. And now a bump over by Brock Vogel. Free one for the Vikings. Here is Hansen. Anu Lopez, did it go off the antenna? And it'll be a point for Seattle Pacific on what they rule out of bounds here. You can see that one, yes, definitely took a deflection off of the antenna. So a 7-6 lead. These teams back and forth. We've seen it all night, just pending that one breakaway. Will it be the Vikings? Will it be SPU? Here's SPU with the attack, and it's denied. Maddie Pruden gets shut down by Delaney Spear. Delaney Spear at the net now. 5 block assists for her. The first block of this set by either side. Vikings now 11 blocks in the game to SPU's 7. Spear serves it over. That one oddly off of Brock Vogel, and the hustle right there from Tolino. Vikings on the attack. Tolino again saves it. What a rally for Tolino. Brock Vogel delivers over. Here's Hansen on the set. Ostrich with a lift over, and it's going to die in the back row in front of Shukart. Emily Tolino kept 2 possessions alive for SPU. And you can see the second dive she had right there. Vikings will go up 1, though. On the kill by Ostrich, Delaney Spear back to serve. 8 kills on her name. And that one's off of Brockvogel and back into the back wall. Delaney Spear has herself ace number 3 tonight. Vikings now at 10 aces. Their season high is 11. Spear with the Vikes up 2 into her own net. Maybe a little bit of an announcer's curse there. Service error number 6 for Spear, or not for Spear, for the team. The third for Spear. SPU has done a good job cracking down on the service errors. In the third set, they only had 1, and they only have 1 thus far in the fourth. Here are the Vikings with Hansen. Devin Ostrich on the hit, and it's over to the Viking side. They say it deflected off. Anu Lopez with a fist. Devin Ostrich with a hit. Off a deflection into the back. Ostrich having a nice set number 4. I had a feeling she might come alive in this one. That's kill number 7 for her in the match. Abby May with a beautiful serve, kept alive. That time, though, by Brock Vogel. Here's an attack that is too long by Maddie Pruden. No deflection. And the Vikings up by 3 now, 11-8. Vikings on a 5-1 run. Here is May now. Another good serve, kept up by Shukart. Tolino. That one a good hit by Brock Vogel. Brock Vogel now kill number 15. They have fed her 41 times in this match in the fourth set. So now for SPU, Sophia Chambers will serve it. Chambers with the serve over. It is too long, and there's a service error that I'm sure Jason Ryan doesn't want to see from his team after being so clean in the last couple of sets. Going back to that first and second set detriments that SPU had. Gabby Kepley back on for the Vikings. Adele Holland will come on as well. She'll serve as the setter. Delivered over and bumped up by Shukart. That one's set for Hannah Hare. Good 1-2 from Sophia Chambers to Hannah Hare, the 6-7 deliver. An aggressive hit from Hannah Hare as well on that one. Hare, the reigning back-to-back GNAC Defensive Player of the Week, has been quiet tonight. She came into this game potentially going to break the GNAC blocks per set record. Not tonight, at least. Sydney Perry on the attack, perfectly placed into the corner. Sydney Perry continues her career night. Kill number 13 for her. The senior off the bench seeing a huge opportunity. Has seen the ball 23 times. She is converting at a hitting percentage of .455. Here's Adele Holland to Ostrich, denied by Hare. Block assist number 4 for Hannah Hare. Hannah Hare's 1.76 blocks per set, number 1 in the country. The Vikings finally getting to see what that looks like here in this one, because for Hare, she sits at 7th all time in the GNAC career blocks records. Vikings have shut her down in this one. See if she can get rolling. Here's SPU. Hare again. Hannah Hare. Over and over again. I think Jason Ryan has found the method to success. Go back to your middle blocker that has done it for you all season. 4-0 run for SPU, and they take a 1-point lead. 3 of the last 4 points have been responsible from Hannah Hare. Here is Ostrich. Into the corner and inbounds. Good answer by the Vikings that time. It is Devin Ostrich coming through once again. Kepley, May, Ostrich, the 3 players that we saw have playing time last season. And there's an ace from Devin Ostrich, exactly what she does. She's 13th in the GNAC with her aces per set. Picks up one right there. And Western Washington now ties their season high for aces in a game. Devin Ostrich her second. She's had 3 against Simon Fraser as well as on Thursday against MSU. That one a lucky bounce off of the net, but SPU will take it. Falcons tie things back up at 14. It seems like Sarah Brockvogel can do no wrong. Gets a perfect bounce on that one. Kill number 16 for her tonight. Here is Kepley on a loft. Lopez keeps it alive on a good running save. Set back by Chambers. Denied. Barnett might have gone out of bounds. Brockvogel showed off the hustle. The attack by Coco Barnett is denied by the Vikings. Delaney Spear and Carly Try both there. Definitely might have gone out of bounds. Western Washington will take it up 1. Anna Vanderyacht with an ace tonight. Service specialist. Perry down on a knee and Kepley! How about that from Gabby Kepley? An aggressive kill. Double figures for Gabby Kepley. Killed number 10 on a 300 hitting percentage. Vikings up by 2. Chambers with the set. Sydney Perry delivers it over. Ostrich on the bump. That one, Wilkes could not get it, but now Wilkes will get it again. Holland to Kepley off a deflection, and Gabby Kepley has herself another kill tonight. Number 11 for Kepley. Vikings up 3, 17-14. Up 2-1 in the match. The number 1 team in the GNAC versus this young Vikings team tied for 3rd in the GNAC. Sydney Perry on the bump. Wilkes. It is missed set right there by Sophia Chambers over the head of Wilkes. And the Falcons are fading. A timeout on the floor. Vikings up 4, 18-14. Vikings trying to close it out when we come back on Vikings TV. Welcome you back to Carver Gymnasium. Vikings trying to pull off the upset of the year. Can they do it twice in a season? SPU 13-1 in the GNAC. Their 1 loss to the Vikings this season. Now at home, the Vikings try and shock the Falcons once again. They're leading in the 4th set, up 2-1. Towards the end of that 3rd set, we saw the Vikings let SPU battle back into it. They have to hold off here as SPU, with some momentum going into the 5th here, would not be good for this young team to face. Vanderyacht. Perry off of her and out of bounds. Anna Vanderyacht. Ace number 2 for her. A new season high aces for the Vikings with 12 here in this one. And they're up 5, 19-14. We will see Abigail Cunningham come onto the floor for the first time tonight as Jason Ryan makes a switch for his Falcons team. Anna Vanderyacht will be back to serve. We have a hold up here as they're making sure the rotation is right here onto the floor. Abigail Cunningham will shift to the left side of her court. Anna Vanderyacht will serve from the right side of hers. That one bumped up by Brock Vogel. Here's the set to Perry. Perry is long on it, no deflection either. Vikings hit 20. up 6. They are rolling. Vikings on a 6-0 run. Vanderyacht back to serve it again, and it's too short this time. Not what you needed there. Vikings have a cushion, but you cannot count on that when you have the best team in the conference, ranked 18th in the nation. You got to close them out here. Service error number 7 on the game for the Vikings. Emily Tolino with the serve. Delivers it over. Abby May on the bump. Here's Adele Holland with the set. Emily Voss and cool off a deflection. Number 5 for Voss. 8 block assists as well for Emily Vossenkool. And the middle blockers going at it in this one. Hansen is on as well as Anu Lopez as Kepley and Holland come off. Vikes up 21-15. Here's Hansen's serve. Bumped up by Brock Fogel. Tolino is there. Pruden denied by Vossenkool, kept alive by Lopez though. There is Perry back to Pruden, takes a deflection off of Vossenkool. Anu Lopez with a bump, and from the back row is Devin Ostrich. Lopez with a bump. Tolino back to Perry. Kept up by Ostrich. Abby May and Hansen were both there. Here's Delaney Spear, too long on it though. And maybe the Vikings miscue in the backcourt between Abby May and Hansen might have thrown things a little bit off. You saw they both went in to set it, both calling mine on it. Luckily enough, it was clean to get a hit, but Delaney Spear just could not find success on it. Served over. May on a bump, almost out of bounds. Hansen with one hand. Abby May's got to do backwards, and it's going to be too long and out of bounds. So the Vikings only up by 4 now. Gave away a pretty bad point there on the serve. It'll go down as an ace for Zoe Schuchart. Just the 3rd ace of the game for Seattle Pacific. Zoe Schuchart will serve again. Her team down 4. Plenty of room to work here though. Vikings need 4 to win it. And that one is dumped over. Allison Wilkes slams it onto the Vikings side as Hansen was getting ready to get under to set it. The bump traveled too far from Abby May. And there will be a timeout on the floor. Diane Flick-Williams calls it. We saw a similar situation in the 3rd. We'll see if the Vikings can close it out when we come back after a short break. So welcome out of the timeout here at Carver Gymnasium. Western Washington here at home trying to pull off another upset on the season. The Falcons trying to stay in it. Set number 4, Vikings up 21-18. And it's win or go home here for SPU. Vikings trying to complete the victory. Diane Flick-Williams with the timeout. Zoe Schuchart will serve it for SPU. Schuchart had an ace just moments ago. Carolyn Hansen now to Delaney Spear, and she's too far on it. But the call on the floor, looks like they got Allison Wilkes on a touch. She's trying to say no. Jason Ryan will not contest it. Vikings get the point off of that on a lucky break. Delaney Spear picks up the kill, number 9 for her. Spear will serve it as well. Vikings 3 points away now in set number 4. Spear has 3 aces tonight. Brock Vogel kept alive, but into the net. Emily Tolino commits the error as she runs into the net trying to keep that ball alive on an errant dig from Brock Vogel. Vikings take the point, and it's 23-18. There is Spear. Lopez. Tolino. Brock Vogel denied by Lopez. Bumped up by Shukart. There is Pruden into the corner, and a good answer by Maddie Pruden to keep SPU chugging. Hannah Hare will come onto the court as well, as Christina Lopez checks off. Vikings 2 away. Seattle Pacific has struggled with errors. Wilkes needs a good serve here. Bumped up by Spear. Here is Hansen to Vossenkool. And we have a call on the court. They get Hannah Hare on the violation. A huge mistake from the NCAA Division II's best middle blocker. You see on the replay, crossing over that line with the right foot. Vikings 1 away from the upset. Abby May serves it. Tolino to Hare, blocked by the Vikings. Ostrich with the bump. Hansen sets it for try, takes a deflection back to the Vikings side. A call on the floor, it's over. Hannah Hare commits back-to-back violations at the line, and that's how this ends. Not as dramatic as you would have wanted it. You see Hannah Hare on the replay. Let's try and see what she commits here. She crosses over again with the feet right there, and that's how this ends. The Vikings upset Seattle Pacific again, this time here at home. SPU will fall to 13-2, and their clinch on the GNAC title starts to slip away as Central Washington is knocking at the door, and the Vikings move up to 9-5, tied now for third in the GNAC. What a game for the Vikings. They outblocked the best blocking team in the nation 12-8. Thanks to the play from Emily Vossenkool with 8 block assists, Delaney Spear with 6 of her own. Spear leads the Vikings with 15 points. 12 digs for Devin Ostrich as well as 8 kills. Gabby Kepley led with 11 kills. A great game for Sarah Brockvogel with 16 kills, but it was not enough. Sydney Perry off the bench. A great performance for her. Career high, 13 kills by the Vikings, a .211 hitting percentage, 12 aces, the most by the Vikings this season. So the Vikes go on the road next, and we'll be back at a home game the 16th of November against Northwest Nazarene, 7 p.m. We will see you there, but for now, cheer on your Vikings, as on the Thursday at 7 p.m., Vikings win it in the upset fashion, and they sweep the Falcons for the season. Thank you all, and have a good night. Go Vikes.